Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth until we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of dicking around, we are ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 12.
Yay!
Woo!
We're doing it, Peter.
12 is a dozen, and that's a cool thing, because it's, I think, one of the only numbers, I feel like, that has, like, a word. Like, I think maybe it's is it the highest number?
No, because a gross is
You can have
20.
a gross, right, that's true. That's the higher.
You can have a score.
Oh, and you can have a score. That's a good point.
Wait, no, a gross is
A gross is
144.
144.
Yeah, it's
Score is
12.
It's
20.
just 12 times
A gross
12.
is
Wait, a
dozen.
millennium is 1,000.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
No, but that's specifically a number of years. Like, a
Yeah, that's
dozen
true.
counts like anything.
Just unital words.
Don't care. This episode, we are reviewing a whole bunch of things. We're reviewing the 302nd items for the movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows. But first, let's go around the clock and say who we are and what we're reviewing today. Yeah.
Yeah,
a
I'm
metaphor.
at 3 o'clock, and I'm Adam. And, and what we're reviewing. I'm doing
You're by
Jumanji.
9 o'clock, actually.
Well, no, but you're clearly at the top of the clock.
What's that make us?
I don't know where you're sitting.
We're just a 2-hand clock or
We
a 2-hour clock.
be
We
this
got
bad
a
at
1 and a
metaphors.
2.
Wow, guys.
It's a useless clock.
We're a binary clock.
I'm Sarah. I'm at 9 o'clock.
No, say what you're reviewing this week.
Oh, right. Also, I'm reviewing Munster cheese.
Jumanji. I read Jumanji.
Guys, this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. One of you, shall I do it right?
I am Lee, and I am doing Bad Company by Bad Company.
Ooh. I'm Pedro. I guess I'm at 9 o'clock, or is it
God
2
damn
o'clock?
it.
Whatever.
It doesn't.
I'm doing Black Knight by Deep Purple.
And my name is Austin. I'm going to be reviewing Verstehen Sie Spass?
Verstehen Sie Spass.
Sure. I'm
What
going
does
to
that
definitely
mean?
get that.
Understand fun?
Do you understand fun?
Yeah.
I love that.
We're going to get to that at the end of the episode. We're actually going to start with the Nicholas Ray film, Bigger Than Life. But before we do that, it's very important to have a hinge fact. Because as you know, every week we review all these items from 0 to 5 hinges. And how would we be able to know how to do that without a fact about hinges?
It's true. It's true. The hinge fact that I have for today was that at one point, Stonehenge was owned by someone, which I find really entertaining. Before
Huh.
Oh, actually, I knew
Before it
about
was
this
ceded
one.
to the British Crown, it was owned by Edward Seymour, first Duke of Somerset. Eventually, it was ceded to the British Crown, but that was a dude, and he owned Stonehenge. It was his, which
So
is
it
kind of
gets even
ridiculous.
better than that, because he bought it at auction for his wife, and his
Oh, yeah.
wife is the one who gave it to the British Crown, because she was like, what the hell am I going to do with a Stonehenge?
That's awesome.
Aren't you-
That is like a whole new thing there. That is pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I would tell the time, find out what season it was.
But
All that
only
stuff.
only if it's, convenient to your front window.
Or, I could trek out there at
That's-
dawn before sunrise every day.
That seems a bit excessive.
You own Stonehenge. That's already excessive.
It's true. It's the biggest collection of rocks you can have. Actually, that can't be true. People have to have crazier collections of rocks, right?
Oh,
I'm sure they do.
In terms of, I guess, weight and size, it's probably the biggest collection of rocks you could have.
It's up there.
That's true. All right, I'm bored with that topic. We're doing the movie now.
Yay, movie!
Yeah.
Well,
He should have quit while he was ahead, honestly.
Anywho, Nicholas Ray, this was a director we covered a couple weeks ago with Rebel Without a Cause. 1 year later, he decided to make this movie, Bigger Than Life, which is based off a New Yorker article. It is about a school teacher played by James Mason, who the doctors discover he has a very fatal disease, and the only cure he's able to have is to take a pill of cortisone every 6 hours, and he starts to kind of abuse that, and the results are disastrous.
can a disease be very fatal? I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's a binary.
Yeah. I think, it's likely fatal, you might die in 20 years. This will get you. If you die tomorrow, I think that's super fatal.
It's very fatal.
Yeah.
Alright.
This one's very fatal because he had 2 years
Yeah.
or something.
You said
A
he
year.
died within the year. But even then, I feel like the more important thing was the constant pain he had.
Okay, first up, real quick, I looked up this disease and the drug that they gave him because
Oh,
they
yeah.
were very explicit. They said cortisone.
Yeah, I don't think
numerous
cortisone
times.
does that.
Cortisone does not do that
Okay.
at
No.
all.
Cortisone is an extremely common treatment for pretty much everything. It's a basic steroid.
Yeah.
You use it for everything. I mean, you
Yeah.
use cortisone cream is for various kinds of aches and pains. It's an extremely commonly prescribed steroid. Now, I don't know if, like, certainly, like, if you overuse steroids, like, weird shit can happen, but...
You mean you get super aggressive and try to kill people?
I mean,
I don't think it caused mood swings like that.
I mean, there's some side effects of, like, anxiety and depression, but, like, again, like, I mean, and maybe they had, like, dosages wrong?
Well, I was
It's
looking
a new drug? I don't know.
I wasn't able to read the full New Yorker article because I didn't subscribe to the New Yorker and pay an online subscription. But I was reading about the article. I saw the snippets from it. And this was a true case, and it was cortisone in the case of this man.
Oh, weird.
And he had he became a compulsive shopper. He started to become very maniacal. He became really focused on rules and doing the rules and starting to punish things with physical things. He punched a television.
Weird.
So, I mean, like,
Oh, wow.
there were things going on, and...
I mean, it's also possible, though, that wasn't caused by the cortisone. He just,
he could
had
have
a
just been
psychotic
mentally
break.
unstable.
Yeah.
It's true.
But, anyway, I mean, to me, this movie works best as not... Is this a movie against, like, cortisone? Like, beware of cortisone, beware of cortisone.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's really a movie about how, and even an idealistic 50s setting, which is what this movie very much is.
Oh, yeah.
It's so Leave It to Beaver, and it knows what it's doing, is really hinting at things that are under the surface that are still around for everyone. Whether it is mental illness, whether it is very messed up personality traits, like, they really kind of recognize that there's a danger in the home as well as out.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Real quick, what was James Mason's accent? Because holy
Yeah,
shit,
Mason.
what was
know.
that
It's
accent?
the James Mason voice.
That's all he is.
Maybe
It's
just
from
like-
James Masonburg.
Erica.
Like, no, that's the first time I've actually heard actual James Mason talking and not Eddie Izzard playing James Mason.
Mhm.
So I thought, like, Eddie Izzard was just being, like, making a caricature. No, that's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
No.
That's actually what he sounds like. It's this weird, I don't know, transatlantic sort of kind of accent that just sounds odd.
It is weird, but I think that was a more common accent back then amongst learned people.
I don't think
I
so.
think it's just James Mason. He's a special child.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know, Austin. I think your reading of this is quite optimistic and sort of very kind. It didn't do that for me because I don't know what I'm supposed to be afraid of. Like,
Low wages for elementary school teachers.
yeah, low wages for elementary school teachers, like working too
Still-
much. I mean, cortisone, like it
Cortisone.
seems like is one of the things I'm actually supposed to be afraid of. In the end, like it doesn't. It's not like we see traits. Like, it would be one thing if the story was about how the drug brings out things that were always there about him, for example, and was talking about inner workings and how we always have these seething things under the surface. But I don't think that's a fair reading of the movie. The James Mason we know, whatever his name is, we know at the beginning of the movie, is not an angry person, is not a person, I think, with pent-up rage against his wife. He has other issues, but those aren't them. Like,
But I think that's the scary element, is that this could be, anyone with the wrong kind of chemicals going your way.
right, which is why we should be afraid
Yeah,
of
so-
cortisone. So, like, that's my thing.
cortisone.
Like, this idea that you just said that, like, it's really about how danger lurks in the home and in every person. Like, I don't think that's what the movie is saying. I think the movie is saying cortisone's bad for you. And I mean, I want, like, there's lots of things about this movie in terms of the way it's filmed, in terms of some of the performances that I liked fine, but I don't think it either stands the test of time or holds, like, a good, deeper meaning. I didn't feel like I'd come away with anything at the end of it about who these characters were or what they were teaching me about humanity or why I should think anything other than, okay, he's going to go away, not be on cortisone anymore, maybe he'll die, that would be sad, but, like, basically will be himself again. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, this movie definitely felt like reefer madness, but with cortisone.
Which is weird, again, because, like you said, Lee, like, cortisone does not normally do this. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I understand there's a New Yorker article about it, but, like, this is not the path this drug took. This is a very common drug.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. No,
It's
like, I
almost
feel
just-
like
yeah.
if there was something that we should have been afraid of in this movie, it should have been the disease he had, because it's a very real disease and it does have a very high fatality rate.
And it's scary.
Yeah, it is terrifying, but that's never what I was afraid of in this movie.
No.
What about in his rant during the PTA meeting?
Oh my god!
What was he talking about?
I don't know.
Kids don't learn the alphabet now; they just recognize words. And
But I feel like they do learn the alphabet.
Yeah, I don't know. Was
It
this
was
this an educational thing, like back then, like their version of new math?
I think he was just talking about how they coddle children so much, and they need to be stricter and more focused on
Maybe.
like
What-
duty and stuff. I think he said duty.
Yeah, and I mean, he's talking about the self-esteem. Like,
Yeah.
self-esteem is bad, and this self-respect or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we teach now. And admittedly, that is on the rise in this era, and was
Oh,
controversial.
That's what he did at the beginning of
What
the
year?
movie.
What year was
Right.
this again?
1956.
Yeah.
56. So what? 10 years after the Second War?
Oh yeah,
I could
saw
definitely
this.
see him as like the war generation bringing up the new, nice, coddled young children. That could be something, but
Which would have
again,
been
that was
interesting.
that was just one scene again, and maybe
Yeah.
a little weird father-son times when they're throwing a football around. But I didn't get enough of a hint, I suppose, from this movie to think about that.
Well, I'm gonna
Because
let Adam
basically it instantly came back to cortisone.
Mm-hmm.
And your daddy is he's got these pills. You gotta love him because of these pills.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I think to spoil the ending a little bit, he didn't really learn. I think what Sarah said was true, that he didn't learn much about the human condition. He just learned, oh shit, I should not have taken so many drugs, and I should stop doing drugs.
It was someone who became an addict. I mean, I think all these metaphors to me really apply for so many elements of it. He starts to abuse his pills. He starts to lie about it. He starts to do really kind of horrific things. And it's kind of destroying that family structure. When I first saw this movie, I saw it many years ago. And since then, I saw this TV show called Breaking Bad. And I thought
I don't
about
think I've heard of that one.
It's really good. You should watch it. It's but I thought about the movie. I thought about Breaking Bad a ton during this movie, and I would not be shocked if they were heavily influenced by it. I mean, he even works at a garage, and so does Walter White.
He doesn't work at a garage. He works at like a call center for cabs.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't get that. Like, you work at a garage? No, he sits at a desk and routes traffic, basically.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
operator girl.
That's
Guys,
Yeah, he's
that's
an
a,
operator.
that's a garage.
yeah, that's pretty similar to a car. It's a school teacher who needs to get more money, so he works in a more manual car.
But
Whatever.
then, I mean,
But they never
I see your
explain why.
point,
But
but
so much of, like, I can think about the initial kind of creation of Walter White, his transformation, and especially during the episode called Ozymandias, where the house structure really becomes a fighting ground, and it's so sad because they were a very happy family, and I think to me, even having signs almost doesn't matter to me, because the transformation's happening, and these people are now affected by it in a major way. And I always found the movie once bad things start to happen, I can't look away, because it's just such a very strange, upsetting, and like, if you're in that thing, just like the wife and the son, just like Skyler and Walter Jr., this is their father. They can't stop what's happening, and they're in this very dangerous situation.
Well, and I think I can see sort of how this movie at the time might have been more affecting, although interestingly it was not very well critically received at the time. But,
Good.
I mean, I would imagine that prescription drug abuse was not a huge deal in 1950 the way it is now. Like, the movie was frankly very boring to me because, you know, people taking their pills they take for pain home and then having horrible things happen to them because they take too many of them is pretty much like the narrative of America these days. Like, it's pretty common. Now, admittedly, these are not opioids; they're the other way. But I mean, I can see how at the time this idea that this could happen, this kind of addictive behavior could happen to somebody who wasn't a traditional drug addict, who wasn't a deviant, who was just sick and got prescribed some pills, would be more affecting. But I mean, I recognize the surface plot parallels to Breaking Bad, and I think that just highlights the movie's weaknesses. Because none of the things that are interesting about Breaking Bad are here. Like what I just said, it's not like we're seeing how these drugs or this whatever he's changing in his life highlight some deep inner life that is going on with him. it's just that he takes drugs and they make him crazy and his family suffers, which is a pretty boring story.
Like, they never explain what it was that made him addicted to the drug, except for it kind of makes you stupid, so you forget that you took a pill, so you take another one, and then maybe your body becomes addicted to it. But there's no, like, I didn't see any high or any pain relief or anything like that. It was just, oh, did I take these? Oh, no, don't take them. You took them already. Oh, no, now he's getting addicted, and now he's being really angry. Well, but, like, you don't see him, like, sneaking off and popping pills during class or anything like that either.
Well,
I don't know.
He liked who he was. I mean, once he kind of was lying down the law, he really, like, believed in what he was saying. He rationalized really kind of chemically wrong things.
I suppose. Yeah.
I like this film.
I could tell.
It got to a point that I wasn't really going along for the ride with James Mason's character anymore, because he just started doing things I don't know, this is kind of a broad way to say this, but he was doing things just because, like, oh, we have to show that he's crazy now.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It seemed like he just became a huge dick.
To compare it to Breaking Bad, like, all of Walter White's actions are because he has to do this thing. And James Mason's actions are always, he does this thing because why not? It doesn't seem organic. It always just seems we need to make him, like Adam said, we need to show him doing something crazy, so let's make him do something crazy.
And it was the interesting part that I liked about this movie was the reaction from his wife and son.
Yeah.
His wife was amazing.
Yeah.
She was the best.
Yeah, she was really good.
The kid's the worst.
I mean, yeah. The kid sucks.
All children are awful.
Yeah.
This kid, if you guys, back in episode 2, you mocked that little girl and her performance, this kid was way worse by 1,000%.
No.
God.
No, I don't think so.
No, this kid was awful.
No, that little girl was terrible.
No, she was annoying, but she was supposed to be. That was her job. He didn't have to be annoying. Looking at him crying, supposedly, was the hardest thing I had to do. Like, there were awkward moments in the movie, but I looked away. I couldn't look at him anymore. I was like, oh, God.
By the way, that kid is 68 now.
Holy.
Yeah, I looked him up when I was watching.
Well,
has he done anything since?
Yeah, did he grow up to be an actor? Or?
He stopped acting. I think his last film was in, like, the late 60s.
Did he grow up to be an actor? Because clearly he wasn't in this.
Nope.
True.
He's basically just a child. There are two hilarious moments that I wrote down because they cracked me up. The first is when James Mason is mad about how much things cost and says, I can't afford this room. I'm a school teacher, not a plumber. Which is great, because, I mean, he's actually not wrong.
Say plumber, okay.
Like, plumbers make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even now, plumber, like, that's a good job. But I just love that was, like, not lawyer, not doctor. And then there's also, like, he's a substitute teacher for, like, the kindergarten class. And there's this totally random moment where he walks up to a little girl and he says, is that a dog? And she goes, no, it's a cow. And he goes, why does it have 5 legs? And she goes, so it can stand up better. That little girl.
Why would his first guess be a cow?
Or
a
his
dog,
first guess was, I mean, to be fair, it did not look like either a cow or a dog. But this little girl sticks to her convictions and is the hero of the film.
Well, one kid was just depicting anger, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Much like Spaced.
That little kid was awesome.
Well, actually, if you want the cow to be stable, not stable necessarily, but 3 legs is better. Because if you have 3 legs, you never wobble.
It's true.
A 3-legged stool cannot wobble. Now, a 5-legged stool, oh man.
Wobble all over the place.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I mean, he just saw those kids and saw their irrational thoughts.
But he was really nice to the kids.
they can grow up to have some random Jekyll and Hyde drug and become crazy murderers.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's not a Jekyll and Hyde drug.
No, it's not.
And you only take a pill every 6
it'd be
hours.
like taking aspirin and you going off the deep end.
Yeah.
Because you can have a weird reaction to aspirin, and then you become an asshole.
Yeah, but see, if
That's
the doctor
scary.
told you ahead of time, by the way, anything weird happens, you got to let me know now, because this is kind of experimental. You might, call or something.
Right.
And instead, like they didn't call the doctor.
It took a really long time to call the doctor.
Yeah.
Well, he's shameful about that. He really
They never
wanted
called
to
he never called the police. The wife never did. She
Well,
called
it was
like
the 1950s, so spousal abuse was kind of still okay.
I suppose, but he wasn't a guy that would do that. At least that's the impression I got from the beginning.
I don't
So
know.
how they took it and how his friend or
Walter
her friend
Matthau?
or whatever, that was him.
That was
Yeah.
Walter
Holy
Matthau.
crap.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
best character in the whole movie.
He has to eat like 2 pounds of steaks because he's a gym teacher.
Which,
He
1950s.
could have done anything more. Like, I almost saw this as more against cigarettes than anything else because he was smoking like a chimney as soon as he started getting all weird and angry.
See, James Mason was very shameful to even be in the hospital in the first place when he was sick. He didn't like being away from school and whatnot. He's worried about financial issues like Walter White.
He wasn't ashamed of being in the hospital. He was just afraid that he couldn't afford it.
Well, yeah. And he,
That
like,
was-
when the doctor said, if you get depressed, come back in, and he gets very, very depressed at one point when he screams, "I'm depressed." It was a subtle scene. But he doesn't do it. I mean, he has these pride issues, and
Yeah, and look where it gets him.
I know, that's the point of the movie.
It's a boring
It
point.
didn't sell it.
Yeah, no.
Not well.
That was not. It was missed.
Alright, let's do some hinge ratings.
We should.
I'm gonna go first. This gets 4 hinges. I recommend it. It's on the Criterion Collection.
This gets 2.
2.
1.5.
Whoa.
I did not like this movie. I would not
I didn't
recommend it to
like it.
anyone.
I was thinking about doing 1.5, but I didn't think it was...
I found some enjoyment.
Go ahead and watch it so that then you can come back and email us
Yeah.
about how you think this gets a 2.
Or maybe higher than that, because you're like Austin and wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit all that out. It's gonna be a 30-second review. This was good. 4 hinges.
End of review.
End of review. And now on to the album this week.
Wow.
This is the album Bad Company from Bad Company, and I did not look up to see if it was in the film Bad Company starring.
It was not in the film Bad Company, but it
What
does
the
have
hell?
it does have the hit single Bad Company on it.
That's good.
Awesome.
I like
So-
that song.
It's a good
So,
song.
Lee, you have hated all music for the past, I assume, 10 episodes now.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
let's
that.
just round up and say 15 episodes.
Sure. So, did this one finally make you like music again?
I've heard probably 90% of this album before I sat down and listened to it all the way through, and I've enjoyed it. Like, it's good classic rock. Like, it's kind of generic, but only because I've heard all of these songs before.
I agree.
Like, you turn on any classic rock station, and they're probably going to play one of the songs on this album in the next hour.
But I at least found this album to be a lot more likable. Even though
Yeah.
it's very... I think it's deceptively simple, because the lyrics just repeat the title phrase over and
That's
over again. But the music always felt very rich and dynamic, so when they are repeating the chorus again, it feels like a whole new movement every single time. I really enjoyed listening to the whole thing.
So Bad Company was a super group of sorts when they formed, because they had, 3 different groups came together to form this group, Bad Company. It was King Crimson, which is known for being very, very progressive rock. And then there's Mott the Hoople, which I had never heard of before. I guess they were really into glam rock, whatever. And then there was Free, who is also really big into blues and that more kind of classic rock sound. So you combine it all together and you get this really great band.
Wait, so how many people are in this band?
I think it was 5.
Oh,
The original lineup, I think, was 5.
that's... So one of those bands was really small.
I thought they sounded great together.
No, it's just 1 or 2 people from each band,
okay.
not the whole band.
I don't know.
It took me a second to realize you weren't saying actual names of people. I was like, why would you name your child Free?
Because you want them to be free, Adam.
I never thought of it like that.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. It's really good. It's solid classic rock.
Were there any songs you particularly liked?
Oh goodness, I really liked. Of course, Bad Company is just a good song on it. We're trying to pull up the list right now. Rocksteady is always fun, and Ready for Love, which is fun because that was a Mott the Hoople cover.
What?
Mott the Hoople, which is one of the bands
right.
that made up Bad Company. It was a cover, so Mott the Hoople.
How do you...
That sounds like a Muppet.
It does, but it's a very 1960s, 70s British rock band name. So, But yeah, I really enjoy this album. I definitely listen to it again. Solid. If you like classic rock or if you like rock and roll, definitely give it a listen.
So they had a long career, right?
Yeah, they were around for quite a while. They still kind of tour on and off. The lead singer, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, will... Of course, it's not immediately on the Wikipedia page, but he tours with Queen every once in a while, and it replaces Freddie Mercury. And he does an alright job. Not a great job, but he does an alright job. Alright, that's his name.
Freddie Mercury is a hard act to follow.
Yeah,
I think.
there's nobody can replace him, but
Yeah.
he does a pretty good job.
I think Bad Company was my second favorite song on the album, but I think Ready for Love was
Yeah,
That was my favorite.
absolute favorite.
that's a good
Yeah.
song.
I can't remember. I remember really liking Bad Company, but really liking another one too. That might be it.
You just need to see the title of the song and go, oh,
Yeah.
right. When they
I
said
was
Don't
right-
Let Me Down
I
50
don't know.
times.
Ready for love.
I don't know how many times
Bum, bum,
I listened
ready
to the
for
album.
love.
Well, you
When
don't
I
need
got out
to.
of the car, I was humming lines, but now I forgot. I got
I-
ping pong on the brain. Sorry.
I really liked Don't Let Me Down, but it was weird because, again, it just repeats the title of the song over and over again, which is also what the Beatles song Don't Let Me Down does. So I was kind of confused at first, hoping it was a cover. It's not a cover. It's
Well,
just a song that's similar.
It actually reminded me of the Beatles' first album, because their first album was Hard Day's Night, right?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I think it's Meet the Beatles, but I may be wrong
like
there.
it's in that early stage of the Beatles,
Yeah.
when they're doing very poppy songs. And to me, what I got out of this album was much like what they were doing there. They're very simple lyrics and they're very repetitive, but it's almost like a plea for sincerity. Like the more they kept saying "Don't let me down," like
Yeah.
they were very genuine. They are begging. The more they keep repeating these phrases. I am ready for love. I'm going to prove it to you in 5 minutes. So I really kind of admired their repetitive nature.
I forgive the repetitiveness because most of the time I don't like just repeating the same lyrics over and over again. But because the rest of the song is so, like you said earlier, rich, and it has it's complex, and it's not just a basic bass line and a basic guitar line and everything. It just combines really well together and melds together. I forgive the repetitiveness.
I liked the repetitiveness. It's a perfect song to drive somewhere to on a weeknight and
Oh,
not
yeah.
have to think too hard.
This is a great, if you're going to do a movie set in the 1970s, this is a great soundtrack, especially if they're just going to go cruising down the highway for a while.
Or play pool in a bar.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should try
Or
that.
try to get with a girl in the back seat of their Camaro.
I need a Camaro first.
And a girl.
Step one.
Get the
Except-
Camaro.
Well, one requires longer down payment, so.
All right, are we ready for hinges? Is this thing for review?
I think so.
Mm.
Lee, what do you give it?
I'm going to give it a solid 4.5. I'll definitely listen to this again.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I give it a 3.5. Not my favorite, but definitely not bad. Listen to it again.
I genuinely was going to say 4 before that happened. So, 4 hinges.
4.4. Because it's like a 44 Magnum. Because it makes me think of guns. This album.
Does it?
It's a little bit.
Really?
Just like, well, yeah.
It was the
it'd be
most
like-
mild Bad Company, though. Like,
I know.
they say they're Bad Company, but like, no, these guys are fine. They can babysit.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm
I would
just...
let them babysit before I let James Mason babysit.
I mean, I think we
Yes,
learned that
that's the
Jim
point of that
Mason's
movie.
not a good babysitter.
The movie agrees with you on that. All right, I think that's it for Bad Company by Bad Company.
With the hit song Bad Company.
Yes, not in the film Bad Company. Either version.
No, that song is.
That song is.
Isn't that what you said, Lee?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
No.
wow.
Well, there's 2 films called Bad Company
Well, it's not in the one with Chris Rock.
and Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, it's that movie. I love that movie.
that dynamic duo that never repeated again.
Probably for good reason.
And now it's time the show where Sarah stops drooling on the table and starts to eat the food. That's
Oh my god, food.
So what do we have to eat today?
Okay, so we have Munster cheese. Now, I want to do a quick disclaimer about this cheese. and have a small manifesto. I promise it will be short. So, Munster cheese, as described in the book written by a bunch of British people, is the Munster cheese, which is a French-German blend of cheeses, similar to what Americans are familiar with as Munster cheese, which is what we're eating now. It has a orangish rind and is sort of tangy, but it has generally described a much stronger flavor. And most importantly, for the purposes of this podcast and why exactly I don't have that cheese exactly and instead have the American version, it has what's known as an appellation origine contrôlée, an AOC, which means that which is something French and... Pedro, do you know if the Germans have AOCs as well?
The Brits do.
The Brits do.
I feel like the Italians or Spaniards might too, for like olive oils and stuff.
Yeah,
because that was actually a huge
do.
thing that like olive oils were supposed
different...
to be Spanish, but then they came.
I think it might be a different acronym because of course it's a different language. But in French, it's AOC.
But it falls under like because this is all now under EU guidelines.
Yeah, it's all under EU guidelines.
So
basically, the EU has a set of guidelines, and you can look these up online. I think they're really funny about how you have to, for example, make certain cheeses. So there's a guideline for how you have to make Munster cheese, which includes things like what grass the cows have to graze on, and
definitely,
and what breed of cows you are, and for some of them, although I don't think Munster's one of them, the ones that's geographically located, you literally are not allowed to make it outside of the region that it is named after. That's true of most French wines, for example. In France, you cannot buy champagne that isn't made in Champagne. And so, anyway, in America, we have Munster cheese, which was made by German and French immigrants as when they immigrated here, and it's what most of us eat. My mom used to call it monster cheese a very long time ago, and it's wonderful stuff in its way. But when I went online, everyone was ranting about how these are totally different, and you should never confuse the two, and,
Which is why you went on a plane, and you went to that exact field,
right?
Found the exact right grass and cows,
and
got the right cheese, right?
I'm a little worried that I'm not going to get to die because I'm eating this. This is a concern I have, because you literally cannot buy real Munster cheese in America, because it is made with unpasteurized milk, which is something you're not allowed to have in America when you make cheese. Now, that's a stupid law, but I'll get into that in the addendum, Sarah Talks Cheese, to this podcast.
Huge download numbers that will have.
Yes, I'm sure everyone will be fascinated. But there are some American dairies that try and replicate real French Munster cheese, but most of the time, Munster cheese is exactly what we call it. This orangish sort of block. Interestingly, the French keep trying to sue American makers of Munster cheese to force them to put the E in it, making it how we usually spell it, Munster cheese, which is like not a thing. Like that's not how it's spelled.
Ours has an E in it.
Right, it's not how it's spelled, but it's something that people have added in part
to how's this supposed to be spelled?
With no E.
See,
no first E, just with only one E.
Munster is the, I guess, German spelling or how we do it here. But because worry about this one, because I got the one that you'd find in like sandwich packs and whatnot.
Right, exactly.
But
that's what we have too.
The stinky one, which was also for sale in the same place, but they didn't have it the day that I went, sadly. That one is spelled without the E.
Well, right.
So I think that might just be, so that's us trying to...
Well, it's actually partially us trying to avoid the lawsuits from the AOC people who are constantly trying to make American producers honor the EU names. So that we also would never be able to make, for example, California would never be able to make champagne. They'd only be able to make
of course they can.
wine. So
that's not how it works.
Well, I like America, and I like our Munster cheese, and so we're going to eat it.
Oh, that's fine. Wait, so you can't, like, if you own a dairy, you can't, like, get the milk fresh out of the cow, do what you have to make the cheese, but skip the pasteurization step?
You cannot, and there have been raids by the FDA
with
like people in SWAT teams against dairy farms. This is like a real thing. It's crazy and weird. And
I just don't understand how in peak TV we don't have the crazy dark politic cheese show.
Honestly, like
it seems like it's an international crimes going on.
It is like
SWAT teams going after
complicated.
Cows.
Like cheese is interesting. Like
how illegal is it? Like, they can't sell it, fine, but can they still just make it at home and serve it to people?
Well, you can't. No, you can't. If you're a commercial enterprise of any kind, you can't serve it to people. So, like for example, if you have like people stay at your house in like a bed and breakfast or something, you can't serve it either. Like anything that's going to run anything that's going to basically subject you to any kind of health regulations. It's a national non-pasteurization ban, which is, by the way, it's dumb because the risks from unpasteurized milk are not nearly as high as we used to think they were. So it's really a pretty outdated law, and there are many angry cheesemongers who will go on at length about this. Just walk into a cheese shop and say, "I would like some unpasteurized cheese," and just like let them go. Like, it'll be fun, I promise. Anyway, what we have is Munster cheese, and I like it. Let's eat it.
Well, I'm worried because typically you slice it and pass it out before you talk about the history. I was worried you were holding off having us eat this cheese.
No, it's good, and my only concern is that many people who care about such things would dispute that this is actually Munster cheese, because they would say, well, if it's not actually from France and if it's not actually the smellier kind, and indeed our kind of cheese sounds like from the description tastes quite different than what Pedro has had and describes as the stinkier version, but I like it, we're eating it, and hopefully I will still get to die.
But even the not stinky version still counts as a Munster if it's made over there, right?
Well, no one makes it over there. Like, we're the only people who make this stuff. Like, this is not a European thing. Oh, yeah. Like, no one makes cheese like this in Europe.
No, that's fine, because this stuff isn't as good.
It's good, though. I love it.
My limited understanding of food, but, like, is this similar, parallel to...
I'd eat some toast.
I've seen a documentary called The Search for General Zhao, where there's now Americanized Chinese food.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Americanized cheese?
I think that's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a legal thing as well, though?
No, legally...
That's just people that don't know how to make real Chinese food, so they make what sounds like Chinese food?
Oh, no, you should definitely watch The Search for General Zhao, which is a documentary on this subject. It's on Netflix. Way more interesting than that. But yeah, I would agree. This is basically what what Munster cheese has evolved into in America. And I think it's pretty good.
All right. Adam, what do you think of this cheese?
I think it's pretty good. It's a little Swiss-esque.
That's what I was thinking. Like a Swiss and a provolone had a baby.
Yeah. That's perfect.
But it's still a baby because it hadn't had time to develop the rich flavors. It's light. It's really light.
Yeah.
Yeah, very light. It looks like it's just like a rusty brick.
Yeah. It's got that characteristic like orange like, and I'm sure it's just food dye, honestly, because like this is craft. Like it's probably not particularly interesting, and
it doesn't look like
it's orange food dye. But yeah, what do you think, Austin?
I think it's pretty good.
Yep.
I don't think it's as it's unfair to kind of compare it, but last week we had the most definitive cheese imaginable.
So good.
I mean, Gruyère's just a perfect cheese. Yeah.
And this one is good. I like it more than ones we've had. I like it more than Buffalo. I think it's a very strong cheese. I think this would go... Strong as in, like, quality.
Oh, good. I was like...
This is spicy. It tastes like apple pie. I'm having a stroke. No, I think it's very good. I think this is a cheese more than... Like, last week I could eat that cheese on its own, be just fine. This one, I think, will be always enriched by having it with meat and crackers.
Yeah.
It feels like a good add-on cheese.
This cheese, when I was a tot, was...
Centuries ago,
sure. Was one of the only cheeses I would eat, because I was a very picky eater, and I think I only ate it because my mom called it monster cheese, and so it was cool. But I have strong nostalgia with this flavor. And I always ate it cubed. That was like how I always ate Munster cheese. I really like it.
Cubes? You just
like cubes of Munster. Which I don't know. Maybe that's weird. It's just I was a very picky eater. Concessions had to be made, but I really like it. I mean, look, like I like really good cheese, and I recognize that this is not like the best cheese in the world in terms of interest or quality or. But, it's tasty, and it's a food I like. So, that's what it is.
I agree. I think this is... I won't pass up on it. It's good. It's definitely... I think it's a great carbohydrate add-on.
Yeah.
Like, if you melt it over some pasta or have it with bread,
It makes
as we are having it now.
It makes really good grilled cheese, like really good grilled cheese.
This would be a great.
This would be a good melty. Oh man, a mix of Gruyere and this together. Pretty good.
It melts really well. Like that's what American Munster is really good.
Well, I mean, like it's halfway melted already. It looks like just the consistency. Kind of reminds me of butter. I don't know. It's weird. I'm just not super ecstatic because we don't have the stinky stuff, which would be great because that's like how not yesterday. Last week, the cheese that we had was basically could be taken as the definition of cheese. The stinky Munster can almost be taken as your definition of a stinky cheese. Like, it's just, it's stinky cheese, but it's so good. It doesn't have the same, like, I don't know, depth or grittiness as a blue, for example, but it's like, it's what you imagine when you think of stinky cheese smell. And I wish we had that.
Yeah, this doesn't smell that.
This is tame, but it's good. Not dissing on this, but all you U.S. lawmakers listening to us out there, please overturn this and let us get real Munster.
Now,
Please.
Lee, you love cheese.
I do.
How does this rank up?
When it comes to cheese, I like the stinkier kind of cheeses. So this is a little bit of a letdown. Like, loved the Gruyere last week. That was amazing. When it comes to Swiss, I want it to be like the oldest, most aged Swiss you can find. This is just kind of like, it reminds me a lot of provolone, and I'm just not a huge fan of provolone. It's too mild for my liking.
And I like provolone. I'm a very boring, very white person.
When I have cheese, I want it to be like, hey, I'm cheese, not like, oh yeah, there's cheese here.
This is a good Lunchables cheese.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like if I packed a lunch, if I packed a sandwich, I would have this on it.
They sell these like half and half packs of like salami and Munster. That's a thing, or whatever other deli meat in Munster.
I was thinking about making macaroni and Munster cheese.
Ooh.
That might be good.
That'd be
You might
damn
have to
good.
cut it with something else though. I'm not sure if it would hold. Well, unless you eat it just piping hot the whole time.
I'll report back.
All right.
Good.
I think we're ready for some hinges.
Yeah.
Sarah, what do you think?
It's a solid 3.
3? Okay. I'm going to give it 4.
Oh.
Okay, Austin.
I was going to give it a 3 as well. But like a positive 3, an optimistic 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give this a 3.5.
I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
Very average.
It's a very average food.
I'm so bored with the cheese that I'm just eating the
I am worried that this podcast is too low key. Let's get to a song that I'm sure is everyone's favorite song ever made.
Oh my God.
We could definitely all remember this song.
Christ.
So Pedro, give us something that just gives us some energy. Let's get Black Knight.
Yeah, Black Knight. Ooh,
Yeah.
what an exciting name. For
Here we go.
a shit song.
Hey now.
Well, at least we're excited.
Yeah, no, like, I got excited because I was like, I've heard of this band. I don't think I've listened to you guys, but whatever. Black Knight, awesome. And it started, I was just like, It's like even more of a letdown than the Munster. I'm not, there was nothing really going on that was exciting, which is weird because this song was number 2 UK charts. It was their highest song, the highest charting song of Deep Purple. It topped in a lot of places. Apparently, it was number 2 for a while. So it became their highest single, their highest UK single.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Because Smoke on the Water is like I think their most famous one.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
But somehow Black Knight made it higher.
Maybe it was bigger in Britain? I don't know.
Maybe. It was one of only 2 songs of theirs to chart in Ireland. And what it said was it charted at number 4, meaning it was the highest of their songs to chart in Ireland. So I guess Smoke on the Water didn't even get their top 10.
Wow.
Very weird. I don't know what it is about Brits in 1970, but
Drugs.
no, this song was not good.
But the 1970s in rock had this feel. This is like a new genre And it's this heavier rock sound, like this.
But it's
the
not
Led
that it was, like-
Zeppelins and the Black Sabbaths and
Yeah.
Deep Purple. That's all this. What these sounds were.
That's fine. Maybe other songs will be great. I'm excited to try, kind of. Not very much, because this song was not... Like, there was nothing special about it. Like, at all. The video that you're watching with the guys, they're not even, like, dancing that much to it. They're just
no,
kind of...
because they're musicians. They're not performers at this point. They're just musicians at this point.
I suppose, but that doesn't help. I don't really get the lyrics.
It's the 1970s. You're not supposed to.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Way too generic.
It's hard for me to even know how to rate it because it's
Exactly.
hard for me to remember it. It just was so... I mean, like, look, the guitar solo is fine. There's nothing
Was
wrong
a solo?
with it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, it's fine. It's a song.
I
Yeah.
listened to this 3 times right before recording. I can't remember one goddamn thing about it. I kept, like... I was worried I was, like, having actual, like, brain loss. I'm like, how did I lose these 3 minutes again from my life? I just kept staring at YouTube.
No, don't worry. I listened to it like maybe 10 times. I didn't want to keep listening to it because after a while you can get used to anything, and I definitely wanted to maintain the fact that I did not like this song. I didn't want to learn to love it.
That's fascinating how you have Stockholm Syndrome with all of art. But it's the thing where I like the first 5 seconds. It's a cool little riff. I go, here we go. And then something happens, and then it's 3 minutes later I go, I just lost something. I don't like this song. I don't think it's very good. I think it's... I think they get bored halfway through, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
As a defender of Deep Purple, because I do enjoy Deep Purple.
But you can't compare this to other Deep Purple
You
things.
can't, and like that's what I was gonna say. This is a very bland song.
Good. Okay.
Like this
Yeah, I
is a
like
song
Deep Purple.
where, like, in an album of all songs like this, and you're getting really fucked up and high in your bedroom listening to records in the 1970s. This is a perfect song.
Yeah, this is a great song to dance to or something.
It's not, if not just to take it out of its intended album. Like I feel like you're not doing it justice by doing that.
Yeah, I would be happy believing that because...
All right. Pedro, how many hinges?
Like, not even... Like, one. One, yeah. No. Out of 10 times that I listened to this, maybe twice, I was like, let's try again. One hinge.
I do admire that Pedro used to be doing classical recordings. He listened to these, like, hour-to 3-hour things. So he's listened to these 3-minute songs, like, apparently 10, 12 times. So
Good.
To make up for it.
he's
Dedication.
sometimes more. He's doing the
Cars,
work.
I listened to Cars like 50 times. It was on a loop.
That's
It was the only song that I
concerning.
would play. Well, because it was the only song on my playlist, and I had it on repeat.
It's a good song to listen to 50 times.
It was yeah.
Do you know where the end of that song is?
I don't know. It's kind of like what How I Met Your Mother with that one song that's always on repeat.
500 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have the same sort of relationship. I'd be like, I'd forget about it, then I'd hate it, then I'd love it, and
Yeah.
but this song, no.
All right, so Pedro gives it to 1. Lee?
I'll give it a 2.5.
1.5, I would say. It's pretty dull.
1. I mean, I couldn't recommend it to anybody because I couldn't remember it because it's boring.
4 hinges. No, I don't care. It's a 1. I don't know. It's getting 1 just for the first 5 seconds. I think it's pretty cool, and then not pissing me off to go lower.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like listening to.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
a
I
long
agree. Like,
board
it's not
speech.
like actively bad. It's just not actively anything.
If it were actively bad, it might be more interesting.
I know.
Give it a 1.5.
That's true.
But no, actually, one good thing came out of this. This, I think, is going to be now my prototypical example of a 1.
Like,
I
it's
think
just
I
boring.
found my baseline for a 1
It's
hinge.
good. It's good to have a statement like that.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Now we're moving on to... It's very rare for our show that this children's book is the most popular entry.
Yeah.
Often
Yeah.
we have the most obscure things that Adam and I are reading, and this time, this is far and away the most popular thing, and it is a very famous picture book called Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Guys, what do you think?
Really?
We're deciding it's called Jumanji.
Nope.
I think that's clear.
No, we're not.
Adam and I are on the same page.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Jumanji is about. I'm kidding. Jumanji is about. I'm sorry. It's written and illustrated by Chris von Allsburg. Written in 1983. Is that what we said?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, 83. And it's okay. So I assume if you're listening, you've probably seen the movie and not necessarily read the book. So in terms of the movie, the book is. It's basically the movie without Robin Williams and Bonnie Hunt and anyone else. It's just Judy and Peter playing the game.
Without dead parents.
No, their parents are still alive, correct. So their parents leave, and then they get bored. That's the impetus for the
that's pretty much
whole
it.
thing, is they get bored, they go to a park, they find a game. Judy...
Under a tree?
Yeah, it's
which
just
is weird.
lying under a tree.
Well, it fits in with the jungle theme of the book.
Yeah, but you shouldn't take random things lying under trees in public parks. Just throwing that out there.
That's kind of a lesson of the book.
It
I would
really is.
I would take a game, though. Like,
Board
if
game?
it was...
Yeah,
that was just, like, mysterious and cool.
I don't know.
I picked up lots of weird things in parks, so a board game's like totally cool. I'd pick it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you're all dead now.
that's from the perks of not being able to die. No consequence for candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've eaten so
Park
much
candy's my
cyanide
favorite.
candy.
So then the rule of the game is that once you start playing, you can't finish until, like, the game isn't over until someone gets to the golden city in the middle.
Jumanji.
And then they have to yell Jumanji.
Jumanji.
And then...
I mean, look, how do we know it's called Jumanji except that it's in the movie? I mean, like, it could be called Jumanji.
Yeah, let's call Chris right now.
Yeah, he's
Let's
still
get him
alive.
on the
We
hard
can call him
line.
up.
Yeah. Side note, he also did Polar Express and Zathura, which were also made into
That's
films.
why he's
But
so
Zathura is
recognizable.
basically Jumanji except with a space game.
Well, it's a
I've
sequel.
never seen it.
Is it?
Is it a sequel, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just like, here's
Yeah.
this new book I made.
An homage.
The two kids at the end of the Jumanji book, spoiler for a 20-page book,
They live.
no kids were murdered. Yeah, two other kids take the board game, and then there's a third game. It kind of like they end up playing a sci-fi version instead of a jungle version.
So it's
a
like
sequel.
the board game like morphs into like a different board
I
game?
can't remember. I can't
Yeah.
remember if like, or just the same company made two different
Okay.
games, but yeah, it's a similar thing.
Evil.
So it is a sequel.
Okay. That's cool.
I've not seen the movie, so I don't know.
either.
But
Oh, okay,
anyway.
wait. I'm reading the Wikipedia page. In Zathura, Danny and Walter from the end of Jumanji find a magic board game.
Yeah.
And that's Zathura.
yeah, because they take Jumanji at the end of this board game.
Yes.
Right. So it's kind of weird. So I wonder if is it referenced that they've also played Jumanji and therefore should presumably know about the dangers of random board games?
Maybe they had a really good time playing Jumanji. Maybe they landed on all the blank spaces, and they were like, "Oh, that was
I hate
dumb."
to deal with the last page so much, but the kind of the great dark irony of the book is that, because the Judy and Peter try to just play a puzzle just to kind of like get their nerves down
Yeah.
Right.
after what happened today, and
One of
the
their-
mom walks in and goes, "Oh, you know, my boys, they're never going to puzzle with the patience for it. They never read instructions for anything." And the last shot is just them holding Jumanji walking out into the forest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
not going
feel
well.
like if I played a game that could have potentially killed me, I would have destroyed said game instead of throwing it back in the park that I found it in.
I
don't
would
know.
be terrified to destroy it.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Adam here. Like, I definitely would be like, this is cursed. I don't want it anywhere near me. I might very well put it exactly back where I found it, hoping that that was where it belonged.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, there's so many horror movies. Like,
Fire
you don't-
fixes a lot of things. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true. But like, you don't know what happens if you burn the Jumanji board. Like, that seems like a sequel waiting to happen. Like,
I'd watch that sequel.
We have now walked around the meat of this book.
Yeah.
it's true. It's true.
I mean, I
It turns out
assume
to
everyone
be in
knows
the
what
end.
Jumanji
We
is
discussed
about.
the prologue and the epilogue.
Yeah.
You know, where people were talking about things.
Well, the meat of the book is that they land on these squares and bad things happen, such as the first thing is a lion appears. It's a lion attack. Miss one turn. There's a mysterious guide that comes in and he gets lost, and so they miss a turn. There's a snake, and culminates in a volcano eruption and a monsoon that kind of clear the area once Judy finally wins. Man, I have a hard time talking about this book because I just love the movie so much. And so the book is like fine. It's good. It's a good book. I wish I had not seen the movie first. But yeah, the movie just adds so much to it.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I mean, like, look, the book is fine, but Austin's really mad at us. The book is fine, but like, well, I mean, and this is also just like I find when I go back and read picture books, which I haven't done for a while. Like, not surprisingly, picture books have pretty simple plots, and this basically is like, oh no, that's bad, and then they win the game, which is good.
Right. It's kind of a sequence of like this bad thing happens, oh, and then they roll again, and then this bad thing happens, and there's just not there's a little bit of danger, but there's not. You don't really feel.
Yeah, I never feel that the kids are in danger. I was never worried.
So, like, what happens to the lion on
just
roll
sit-
5?
it just
just
sits
sits
there.
there?
Yeah, they trapped it in the bedroom.
Well,
Because the lion can't break down a bedroom door. Whatever.
no, because
They can't turn the handles. They don't have thumbs.
the reason why the book is way better than the movie. Well, first off, the book isn't a piece of shit, so already
Hey. Whoa.
step up.
Whoa.
Wrong.
Whoa.
Yeah,
What's wrong with you?
the movie's terrible.
What are
No.
you talking about?
Anywho, what works so well with the book is that it is boredom, and it's kind of imagination versus boredom. It's this element going on. So if they were playing with, if they're reading a book, or if they're just playing a normal board game, it's kind of their boredom is looking for something. And so they're just playing Candyland, and they go, oh, now we're in this thing with Bob. No, Jumanji is not in the 1001 Movies book.
I wanted to know. It's a great movie. I would have put it in there.
So
Anywho.
Jumanji's just basically the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah,
That's so much more boring.
But it's the same thing, because Judy and Peter in this book are much like the kids in The Cat in the Hat, where they're still talking the uptightness of their parents. They're saying they're very worried that their parents will be upset that the dishes are smashing and whatnot. It's kind of childhood versus properness, because it's not like their lives are in danger. It's that now their imagination is in kind of their stuffy home. Now you have monkeys running around. You have, oh, the floor is lava now. It's that element, and the illustrations are so beautiful as it depicts those two worlds blending together. And to me, that is where the fun adventure of the book is, and not the dark, fucked up ineffectiveness of the movie.
But see, I feel like Cat in the Hat did that better.
Well, I think they're two
Yeah.
different tones, because this one is more joyful and kind of very much more like Indiana Jones type, where it's like, we're going off on an adventure in an exotic land. The Cat in the Hat is anarchy. And it's anarchy and chaos. Whereas this one actually has very structured rules, but it has, images you've never seen before in this environment. I find them to be different books, but the same vein of defeating the idleness.
Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I think that though, I mean, the reason the movie is fun is because there are consequences, big consequences, to the fact that there is a rhino in your living room.
Yeah.
I feel that the consequences in the book are dealt with very quickly. Like, I feel like, there's a lion, okay, we're trapped in the bedroom. Like, it's all cool. Like it's...
Well, because I think that's what's not missing. It's a game. It's a game that you want to play. The game punishes those people for existing and tortures them throughout decades of their life. This is something that, like, there's no backstory of the magic of what's going on, but, like, it's something that you could do. You're having a bored day in the middle of nowhere.
No,
Instead of trying to
No, but no one's gonna play that game
one of them
again,
says
even-
lion attack. Like, that's the thing. If it's gonna be lion attack,
But it doesn't maul the kid. It yawns on top of their dress.
which means it's false advertising because that is not a lion attack.
It's a
That's
very
just-
docile
That's
lion
a very
attack.
docile lion. That's my point. Like, the adventure you're talking about only happens if the animals, like, do stuff, and they don't. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's perfectly pleasant. But there's a missed opportunity here. A missed opportunity I believe that the movie completely fills.
You're right. They didn't have the kids
Agreed.
all get post-traumatic stress disorder because of what happened in this book. That's such a great part of that movie.
Whatever, man.
The movie's terrible.
The movie's great, and you're wrong. I'm watching it tonight.
Oh, God.
I do kind of want to watch it now.
It
Yeah.
holds up. I watched it not too long ago. It does hold up.
It holds up from the low opinion I had as a kid.
The computer graphics
Well,
are
now
not the greatest, but
Yeah, I bet not.
but
they're not bad,
holds
though.
up.
You know what I will say? The illustrations in the Jumanji book are way better than the graphics in the Jumanji.
I think
That's
this book
fair.
is gorgeous.
It's so
pretty. Yeah,
good.
I like it.
Once again, this is another Caldecott winner. We've had one of those before, right?
Yes. Make way for
I think
ducklings.
so.
Right.
Yeah.
Make way for ducklings.
Yeah.
And the level of detail and everything going on.
Yeah, it's just like each page is like artwork.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm halfway with you, Austin, on the like it's a great way to like really take a game which on the surface is just moving. You roll the dice and you move a space, which is like I was listening to a podcast about Monopoly, and it was like that's basically what Monopoly is just moving a certain amount. And so this is a great way to like teach kids to use your imagination to make it just way more fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that about it. But Robin Williams,
Yep.
Robin Williams is great.
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm kidding.
I don't know. There were a couple of times with the I don't know, the prose, I guess you would say, is like it just got repetitive. It's like, and then Judy rolled a 6, and then she moved 6 spaces, and then whatever the dickhead little kid's name was, he rolled a 4 and moved 4 spaces.
Yeah.
It got a little repetitive, and I understand kids' books are supposed to be repetitive sometimes, but it was just a little too.
But it had the
Much.
stuffy nature of that, because like much like Peter Pan, they have Wendy, Michael, and John.
Peter.
John?
John.
Peter?
John.
John. Damn.
They're very stuffy British people, and now they're in the kind of exotic land and whatnot, but they still kind of keep the stuffiness about them. I enjoyed the formalism, I suppose, of how the kids acted. I think at one point someone said, "Oh, indeed," or it's all these kind of things are just very. They're taking on their parents' traits too quickly.
Yeah.
I love this book. This is wonderful.
All right.
Okay, I will give it. I'll give it 3.4.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Oh. Despite my relatively, I feel like your review is more positive than mine, but I would give this a good solid 4.2. Like, I'll read this book to my kids. I like it.
Yeah.
Then I'll show them the movie, and it will be more awesome.
4.5 hinges.
I'll give it a 3. It was fine. I feel there are better books out there that relate the same ideas, like The Cat in the Hat.
Pedro, did you read Jumanji?
No. But I'm gonna go watch the movie now.
God damn it,
Yeah.
that doesn't count. All right, guys, let's wrap this up with something. I don't know what the... Okay.
Don't we have a review?
We have a review here. We got a TV show. This is a show that's been on since 1980.
Lee, can you say the title of the TV show?
Verstehen Sie Spass.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a show, and looking in the actual official book, they actually say the translation is more like, "Can you take a joke?" Which makes way more sense than "Is something fun?"
Oh my god, no, it's the literal German translation is "Do you understand fun?"
Do you understand fun?
And I love that. I love that so much.
That is super German, I feel
I
like.
feel like the more colloquial translation would be like, "Do you get the joke?"
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, "Can you take a joke?" But if we're going to go with just that, because the title of the show has a question mark. They're asking a question. And they're asking the question, "Do you understand fun?" And my response is, "Do you understand fun?" Because, so once again, I am reviewing a German TV show with no translations. And I was able to, once again, find one 10-minute segment that did have translations. And watched that first. And then I watched about a dozen different segments. This is a show that spawned since 1980 and it's gone through many different incarnations. Where it used to be a half-hour show with these very charismatic hosts. And then the host who created the show left. And then it became more of like an event show. Nowadays, it's still on the air. It seems like it airs 4 times a year. And it consists of these taped segments where they do these pranks on innocent people. And the innocent people are there in the studio. There's a giant audience. And they talk about, like, "Hey, remember that time we pranked you in that video we just showed?" And they go, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." And they go, "Oh, here's another video of us at the beach. This show is not funny. And I recognize I'm missing certain nuances by not getting every verbal joke. But that doesn't matter, because every prank is terrible. I'm only seeing random selections throughout the years, but they're all terrible. It is America's Funniest Home Videos level of humor of... Like, there was one I watched, and it had so many views on YouTube, which was this woman, and she has a stroller, and she just has the stroller as the blanket over the stroller, and then she asks the stranger, can you stand by my stroller? I have to go do something. And they go, fine. Then the stroller shakes, and you hear some crying. So this person lifts the blanket, and it's some bearded dude inside the stroller.
Wait, that's great.
No, shut up. It's not.
How is that not funny?
This was a 5-minute segment. We watched the same thing happen over and over again, and people go like, oh, okay. And that was the amazing thing. After watching a dozen different pranks and variety of things, aside from one which I'll mention in a bit, almost everyone's reaction to every prank is, oh, okay. Like, no one's...
Because they're reserved German people.
No one's screaming. No one's freaking out. No one's getting angry. I mean, there's a guy who I watched in the one thing with subtitles where someone asked for a toe in the middle of not places you get toe, and then the guy hooks up the wire and whatnot, and then the front half of the guy's car falls off. But what's amazing is that's one that's like, oh man, that's actually like a high production prank here. But the show is so painfully unfunny because it's a 10-minute segment, and they just do that twice. The first 8 minutes of the segment is, and this is with subtitles, they break the guy's car, and then they talk civilly about it for 8 minutes. The plant doesn't.
So German.
The plant doesn't have like punchlines. He's not trying to further aggravate the situation. He's just saying, "Oh, I think you messed up my car. No, I think your car is messed up already. Oh, I think I'm upset now because my car doesn't work. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I don't think that I'm involved. I think this is a problem with your car." This is an 8-minute long segment of this happening with no punchlines. And then they go, oh, let's do it again. And they add someone else. Someone goes, oh, your car fell off. And then they come back to the studio. And it's the longest 10 minutes ever. Every one of these segments is so painfully unfunny every time. And so I was worried that, like, okay, this is, this book, 1001 TV Shows You Must Watch Before You Die, it should have a variety of audiences. They shouldn't always just appeal towards the youth. It should be appealing towards everyone who likes all different TV shows. We have soap operas, we have game shows, sporting events. It's all in here. So I asked my friend right now who's living in Germany, I said, does anyone find this show funny? Can you just spend today asking around if anyone finds this show funny? And he reported back, he goes, yeah, they all think it's hilarious. I said,
that's awesome.
I said, who did you talk to? Old people, like your teachers? He goes, no, every, 20-something I talked to said this show's hilarious. And I'm concerned about Germans. And my friend said, I don't get their humor. I've lived here now 4 months.
Wait, so Austin, how did you start from the very beginning and try to go in order?
No, I couldn't, because there's this much like a lot of reality and prank shows. They don't.
I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 small clips, a couple minutes long. Those were all the ones that were like, you watch a YouTube video and then you have a choice. You watch another YouTube video, and they were all kind of funny.
The one, and you were talking about, you were talking about how nobody got really upset. We watched one where this girl was crying.
Yeah, she was on the verge of crying.
So upset.
Was this the jacuzzi one?
No, it was
police officer he would stop people randomly, and he'd spray. You know when you're watching a football match or a soccer game? Sorry.
You're welcome.
How if they get a free kick, then the guys, at least now, they'll spray a little foam thing on the grass to mark off a line.
Sure.
To keep the other team from creeping in and whatnot. So this bigger cop would, in the street, randomly point at someone, blow his whistle at them, and then come up and draw a line in front of them. And then he'd walk back 10 paces, because that's how much it has to be, 10 meters, and draw a line for himself, and then he would signal them to do things like, oh, raise your hand, or dance around, stuff like that. And this little girl, not a little girl,
she's probably 14 or 15.
Yeah.
She was on the verge of tears.
And she just had walked away.
Yeah.
And so the first person, starts doing this thing, and he's like, all right, now do this sexy little twist with your waist, and she laughs and doesn't, and then he walks up to her and gives her a yellow card.
And that's pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
He gave someone a red card. That was pretty funny.
Because he just walked away. It wasn't terrible.
I thought it was pretty good.
The jacuzzi one was kind of funny too.
Yeah.
Some people like freaked the fuck out because of a fish.
Yeah, there was
There's a fish in a jacuzzi?
there was this fake fish
That sounds great.
had in the jacuzzi, like in a public.
There's
bath.
2 people in a jacuzzi. The guy's got a fish with him, and then they wait for someone to come in. And so there were like 3 or 4 people, maybe 5. All of them were girls, except for the last one. They would all, like, he would be like, oh shit, something's biting my ass, and then reach around, then like, oh god, there's a fish. And while he's like trying to hold it, or wrestle it, or whatever, control it, he would fling it towards them. And the girls, they would jump up and screaming, like not wanting to be touched by the fish. The guy let out a bigger scream.
Yeah, the guy freaked out more than the girl. And like, this is a very big, brawny German man.
Very, fit. He had the exact same blue, skimpy swim trunks that Daniel Craig wore in Casino Royale, which I very much appreciated. So, and he let out a little wail. It was funny.
And then the one that I really liked was Weihnachtszauber mit Jan Roven, who is an illusionist. He does Las Vegas shows. I gathered from Google searching him real quick. And it was this really cute little skit where he had little kids like draw what they wanted for Christmas, and he put it in this magic house, and he told them to wish really, really hard, and then it would turn into whatever they drew. So it was like a fire truck and a helicopter and a Barbie car, and then the like final joke was he asked this little boy's grandfather what he wanted, and to draw something for his grandfather, and he drew like a little elf person, and out of this box came this very pretty woman that he put on his grandfather's lap.
Girl, yeah. They were all sweet little things that were. I didn't find one that wasn't funny. So I think maybe what you should do is just start watching them on YouTube and follow the links.
No, I did. I watched over a dozen of these things.
And
I would say the one that I liked the least was Grillen auf dem Sauna or something like that.
Oh,
and you didn't see that one. And it was just like this guy walks into a sauna, like a public bath, and has a suitcase, which, why, whatever. And his cell phone starts ringing, and he talks on his cell phone.
Suitcase in the sauna?
Yeah.
That's terrible for the leather, I'm sure.
Oh, it was like a canvas one.
Oh.
But anyway, he's talking on his cell phone, and this woman gets really upset and is like yelling at him to get off his cell phone, but he keeps talking on his cell phone, and like that was the whole skit. And that was probably the least funny one that I saw, but it was still like kind of humorous in that weird, dry humor kind of way.
Yeah.
No.
You watched this one.
I saw one that, once again, it was the longest, like 12 minutes ever, which this is like the longest and not very funny beach scam, which has like there's 2 couples, 2 real people who are a bit older, and this plant couple, and they just talk for a long time. And once again, I don't have subtitles, but they just seem to be like, it seems to be about the weather. At one point, the guy mentions the Dutch, and they kind of laugh a little bit, and it seems very, very boring. And then there's another plant who's selling sunscreen. And then he comes over and gets his full, 1-minute pitch about sunscreen. About how it's, 15 minutes you'll get a great bronze tan. And then the plant woman decides to buy it. And they talk about her buying it for a while. Just, again, fly on the wall casualness. She kind of rubs it on her arms and legs. Then she says she has to leave. And then there's a woman who looks identical to her, we see off camera, who is a very, very bronze woman. And she just, takes her hat as wearing the exact same outfit and goes back. And they're all like, whoa, it really did work. You really got a really great tan in 15 minutes. And they're like, whoa. And the old couple's like, this is incredible. And they wow, this is a really good tan. You should. And they try to get the guy back. He gives the full 1-minute pitch about the tan. And the woman buys the tan. And then she puts it on her arms. And then the plant woman leaves. And then she goes back and the pale woman returns. She goes, oh, I guess it faded away. And then this is a 12-minute long scam. That's not funny, and it never ended. And then the one's like, I don't know if I should have bought this or not. I think that's really crazy that you kind of lost that tan so quickly. Blah, 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 blah. It's another minute or 2. And then they bring the guy back, and he discusses the product for another minute or 2. And then he goes, oh, but there's a camera over there. You're on a show. And they kind of look of why? And then they kind of laugh a little bit.
See, if I were watching all that and I knew German, I feel like that would get at least 4 or 5 chuckles during the entire thing.
What?
Oh man, we've got this sun cream salesman and he just keeps going. We don't want your damn cream. Get away.
They bring him over. They bring him over for 2 of the 3 times.
For 2 of the 3.
Yeah, and the first one was the plant asking him to come.
Yeah,
Like,
but
they were all no.
I don't know.
There was one in airport security when they made them keep going through the body scan over and over again, and then they go, "Oh, like this one guy was almost getting annoyed. It was almost about to be good TV." And he goes, "Look here at the monitor. It says you have a pair of sunglasses in your rib cage." Wah wah. And the guy looks confused and wonders why he can't leave. It's not funny. It's a really painfully not funny, hacky dad joke show. I don't get why this is popular at all.
It just is.
That's the answer.
It shouldn't be. Adam, did you watch any of this?
I watched like 3 sketches. One was people were walking down a hallway and office workers like burst through a paper wall, so it looked like they were just coming through the wall and surprised people. I just don't
Shut
like.
up, Pedro.
I don't like prank shows because it's
I'm
just
not a
like
fan of them either.
like making fun of people when they're trying to go out their day. It's just,
Well, I think-
especially when they're mean spirited or like scary. Like you
Sure.
actually scare someone, then that's.
Well, I think there's so many different nuances now. I adore the show Nathan For You because it's actually a very different type of prank show because the prank's all on him. And Billy on the Street is just almost like a ray of sunshine to their days. It's so weird, but they're going to get $1 in a weird moment from this.
Yeah.
And then there's things like the British show Trigger Happy TV, which is more like this, but it's way, way, way more creative and more biting a satire that like it actually is something amusing. Like it actually is talking about culture. This is people going, "Oh, you have a sunglasses and you're the X-ray."
Right.
Wow. It's terrible. It's just a terrible show. One hinge.
I only saw 3 of them, but 3 hinges.
I'm sure if I understood more German than the very pidgin German that I know, like, I would find it a lot more funny, but I think I'd give it a solid 2.5. Like, if I were at home sick one day and I understood German, I would watch this.
I mean, obviously, all this gets an asterisk, just like Turkish for Beginners that we reviewed episodes back. And just like Turkish for Beginners, if anyone has links to subtitled versions of these shows, I'll be happy to watch them and give it a fuller review. Instead, I'm just going to keep using their official YouTube page and watch this stuff. Adam, your hinge rating.
I only saw 3 sketches, and I
Apparently so
didn't
did Pedro.
understand. I didn't understand 2 of them.
Sounds about right.
I will abstain, I think.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, scratch mine from the record, I suppose.
Well, no, I
stand
mean,
by my rating.
I just, there was one in a hotel, and I think it was haunted, but the firemen came in at the end, and I have no idea what happened, so I don't feel comfortable giving it a rating.
I saw a crazy
Wash
one
the ghost away.
in an elevator where they wanted to go on the 11th floor. Then they got off of the 6th floor, and then they had like, oh, this isn't the right floor. It lasted forever.
Austin, you seem to be personally offended by
Yeah.
I like
this
comedy.
show.
When comedy is bad, I get very annoyed.
Austin, did some German guy come up to you and embarrass you in front of a lot of people when you were a child?
Yes,
Oh,
frequently.
Whoa, what?
this got really deep really fast.
My last name's Luker. I killed the man that took his name.
This
Hmm.
seems weird.
What?
So are you sticking with the 1?
Yeah,
Austin?
I'm definitely sticking with the one.
Okay, alright.
Alright then. I mean, you do you.
So, that's a German prank show you can watch on YouTube, I guess, if you want to. And it's called Lee.
Verstehen Sie Spass.
So, have fun with that one. That's it.
I feel like Austin has not liked things that we've liked and liked things we don't like this entire episode.
This
Yeah.
has been a strange episode.
It has. It totally has. Everything's been like nothing was great. Some things were really bad.
Jumanji was great.
I don't know.
Brain
Jumanji
Life
the
was
movie
great.
was great.
Jumanji the movie is
Yeah,
horrendous.
Jumanji the movie is amazing, and I don't know why it is not on the list. Oh, hey, it's the intern. It's always nice that he listens.
I'm back. Oh,
I don't think he listens.
I
But
do.
he's gotta know when to show up.
I think he just does.
Thank you, Pedro. I can
But, like,
speak for
we're,
myself.
Like, in the middle of our
I don't want you
reviews.
Well,
So adorable that you two get in spats.
Yeah, he's a dick.
truth be
Aw,
told,
he's not
I'm
so bad.
not super fond of any of you. So
Aww.
But if you
Yeah,
had to
I know.
If you just had to hate one of us.
I was going to invite you to my bowling league.
I don't think they can do that.
Oh, well, then never mind.
I could possess Adam or something, and we could bowl.
Yeah.
You can mingle. The old gods let you do that.
We could do that. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I have days off sometimes. They give me days off.
That's good.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Would you go if Pedro was there?
No.
Good. I wouldn't go if you were there either.
You're a shitty bowler anyway.
I'm a great bowler.
You're a shitty bowler.
Intern, what's our next number?
All right, your next number is 974.
974.
Oh, wow.
Hey, a modern one.
Way up there.
It's all new and stuff.
There's no way I'm going to get something shit.
What?
All right, so this is near the end of the list. And
Probably a new thing.
let's see here.
Is he still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, can we
Hi there.
have Adam back now?
I just look, Adam is my favorite. Lee is a close second.
Yeah.
I like being in Adam's body.
that's
It's
Hello.
just
That's
a little
that's
change of
creepy.
pace.
I don't like that.
All right, I am gonna go now though.
What's good about his body, though?
It's just so supple.
I don't think I'm gonna tell him you said that. Hi.
Oh, that was weird.
Hi, Adam.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
You got
Fine.
a Jerry Lewis voice there at the end of different version of the Professor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, I'm back to this now.
So what are we looking at?
We're at 974. Oh,
974.
the movie is Black Swan.
Hey.
Wait, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
It's
is number
chronologically,
974.
so-
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice. I haven't seen that one yet.
The album is Whatever People Say, and That's What I'm Not by the Arctic Monkeys, one of my favorite bands. I'm very excited about this.
Cool.
There's a good chance I won't hate that album.
That's good. The food is membrillo, which is I'm excited about. We'll learn about it next week.
The song is My People by The Presets.
All right.
No idea what that is.
The book will be Across the Nightingale Floor by Leanne Hearn.
And the TV show is, that's a good show, it's Gotham.
I heard it's okay.
We'll find out next week.
Yeah, I suppose we will.
But before that, we have to do one thing now at the end of every episode where Pedro
Oh, crap.
is going to give a 15-second compliment to someone who gave us an iTunes review.
I totally did not prepare for this.
You don't
You're not
prepare
supposed to.
either time. So I'm going to set the timer in 1 second here. So Pedro, the person who gives an iTunes review this time, was someone called ATNA Fan.
ATN Atna?
Sure.
Yes.
Atna fan?
All right,
Okay.
here we go. Pedro, give him a very sincere compliment for 15 seconds starting now.
Atna fan, what's going on? I like all those letters in that acronym, and I really want to know what they mean. But since you're a fan of them, I can only assume it's great. It's the best. It could only be the best. Thank you very much for listening. We love you. Atna fan, bye.
Nailed it. All right. If you would like to have a very sincere compliment from Pedro, just leave us a review on iTunes. We prefer if it's 5 stars, but really you can give us any star you want. Be fair. Treat it like a Hinge rating, which means be more positive than these assholes.
Hey!
For when they're good movies. So next week you can see us review these things on the Thursday next. And also you'll catch us again on Monday where we're going to have our 3rd out of 4 bonus reviews as we catch up on Pedro's songs. And Pedro, do you want to say what we're going to review?
Oh, shoot. What is it? What are we reviewing? Sweetness by Yes. That's one of the things. And then, Kelly Watch the Stars by Air.
So you can hear that small episode that'll come out on Monday. Then Thursday next will be the main review. Until then, you can email us all your thoughts about everything we reviewed, everything we haven't reviewed, at theimmortalspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at theimmortalspod. You can see pictures and links to all the things that we've been talking about, which will include pictures of cheese and links to terrible German pranks. That'll be fun. Follow us on Twitter. And thank you all so much for listening. My name is Austin.
I'm Adam at 4 o'clock.
I'm Sarah at... Wait, you're not at 4 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. I'm at 9 o'clock, and I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee in Eastern Time.
I'm Pedro at Eastern Time, 3 o'clock, I suppose.
Oh.
See you all next time. Bye. God.